All right, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're tuning in, it's another episode of the Empowerment Podcast where our goal is to empower you to reach your goals, whatever they may be. And I got my man with me, Words Taylor. We have a action packed night, fun night, and a lot of content and information. So make sure you tune in, get this because when I say a gentleman that has a story to tell, he has a story to tell, and it will get you from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. What's up, Words?
What's going on with you, sir? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Words, just for me, man. Can you do the intro?
Let's. You know what's crazy is I'll talk about it after. But yo, this your man Words Taylor, your online launch strategist. It's wake up time. Let's get it. Ugh. Salute to the dream builders. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? So no, I appreciate you asking for it. What's crazy is that when I first started really branding and I was understanding me, that just came naturally. But there was a couple people that was like, yo, that's mad corny. And I just stuck with it though, because it was naturally me. And now that's, if you listen to any interviews, it always start off like, yo, can you give us the little and all of that stuff. So man, I appreciate it.
Wow, I can't believe that anybody would say that was corny because when I heard it, I was like, man, that's fine. I need something to bring up. Like,
that was up.
Words on that because I love it. Every time I watch a video of yours, you come out with that shout out to the dreamers. How y'all feeling? I'm like, man, now I feel good.
Yeah. That's what's up.
So, Words, I want to take it back because I talk to a lot of people, I coach a lot of people, and many people feel like where they are in life, they just can't get to that next spot. They feel stuck. They feel like they don't have the resources. So I know where you are today. I know what you do today, but I also heard your story of you starting.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of those self-confidence issues, limiting beliefs. Take us back. Take us back to when you were first starting out and what it looked like for you.
Yeah, for sure. When I initially started, I started out doing spoken word poetry, and for some reason, I was never afraid to get on stage. Right, I loved being on stage, and I really learned that in like 2004 when I did a poem about my mother, and I got off the stage, and a guy came up and was like, "Man, that thing changed my life." And right then and there, I'm like, "This is what I'm supposed to be doing." However, that was in a close group, people that knew me.
Mhm.
They knew, they knew I was big, right? They knew I was a big guy. But then, when you fast forward and I then see, Eric Thomas doing this live or doing videos on the internet, I'm like, oh, that's the level I need to be at. And I was like, yo, I could do that because I'm already doing it in person. But remember what I said, I'm doing it with smaller groups. But I'm like, yo, I could do that and go online. And I remember, man, just trying to turn on the camera and right then and there, he doesn't talk about, and maybe he, ET didn't have these problems, right? Mm-hmm. But he don't talk about having to overcome yourself before you turn on the camera.
Right.
And right then and there, I'm like, man, people are gonna talk about me. They're gonna drag me. They're gonna talk about my weight. They're gonna talk about how you're gonna be a motivational speaker. You motivate yourself to lose weight and all of those things. And so literally, I ain't turning on the camera for 3 years because I was afraid and I did not want to hear what people had to say, or I didn't want to set myself up for that. And so that fear and that self-doubt and that insecurity set me back 3 years. It literally stole time from me. And that's why I see a lot of our entrepreneurs that now are the people that I coach. It's not even the system most of the time or the product or the service. It's the person. It's like, yo, I don't even feel comfortable in myself to be doing this, let alone, now starting to market a product or service. So yeah, that's how it started. And then once I finally turned the camera on, well, you see, now I'm like, I don't turn this thing off now.
Right. Was it always a self-limiting belief, or did someone actually say something to you about your weight?
Yeah, no, so I've been big all my life, right? And so I think for me, being raised in Chicago, we always are singing on each other, talking about each other. And so I think I had come to a point where I expected it, right? But still, these were people that I knew that I expected it from. I didn't know how I was going to take it from other people. And therefore, my voice wasn't my own anymore. And so when I was talking myself out of doing it, I wasn't even using my own words. I was using words that I've heard all of these years, and their voices were now mine. And
Right.
so I don't think it was just one thing one person said, but it was over the years of constantly hearing certain things. And then here's the part. I don't even blame them, because the only reason this impacted me is because they were seeing stuff that I believed about me as well. And so therefore, when it came time to turn the camera on, their voices are in my head. The voices I believe about myself were in my head. And I was like, man, I can't turn this camera on. I can't do this. And my goals and my dreams suffered from this, because I knew, listen, I'm not saying you have to do video in order to grow, but I'm saying there are some people that you are made to be on video. You are made to talk to people. You have an explosive personality. You are that person that is very motivational and inspiring, right? Like that's me. This energy that you see, this is me all the time, right? It gets on my wife's nerves. I allowed the voices and what I heard to steal from me, and that was the problem. So I'm not saying you have to be on video, but I'm saying I knew I was supposed to do this, and I couldn't. That's the part that set me back.
So how did you overcome it?
So one, ET was a huge help with that. I think the biggest thing that I did was I had to. I know this sounds so cliche, right? I had to find my own voice, but I didn't truly understand what people were saying with that until you actually understand your voice. And the one thing, I have a quote that I use. I was like, "Yo, I'll never forget the day I heard my own voice." And I was like, that was the best day of my life. Like, yo, that was the life-changing moment for me, when my own voice sounded more affirming.
Right.
My own voice was encouraging. So I had to start doing personal development. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, personal development. No, but this is real. So I started listening to Eric Thomas. I started listening to and reading books, like Outliers. Thing was a great book. I started listening to Simon Sinek. I started listening to Gary Vee. I started empowering me. And that was, the more you increase you, the more you will find that you increase everything around you. So I was saying to myself, if I truly wanted to increase my brand, my business, my family, and where I was, then it wasn't about trying to increase those things and then have those things give me value. I needed to increase me, and then I create value in those things. That was the key. And so, look, and here's what entrepreneurs and people have to understand. Whatever you are, that's what your business will be. The business won't form you. You form the business. And so literally I started reading. I learned I hadn't read a book in its entirety in like 10 years back. This is like 2012 or whatever. And first book I had read was Eric Thomas. After that 10 years, Eric Thomas' Secret to Success book. Read it in its entirety. I remember after I was done, I told my wife, like, babe, I did it. Now, this is a woman that will read a 500-page book in 3 days if you let her. Right? So I had to start reading. I had to start doing daily affirmations where I, mirror moments with myself. And I know that may sound a little conceited. However, I don't care. Like, I needed to look at me and be like, man, you are powerful. You are strong. You are worthy of success. You are worthy of love. I want to validate your concerns. I want to validate who you are. I'm having a moment with myself on a daily basis. Another thing, I stopped listening to music in my car. Every day I was interviewing myself on, I've been on up here. I've been on Oprah 4 times. I've been on the Steve Harvey show. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I started doing these things with myself. I started practicing my speeches. I started practicing my poetry. I just went on and all out. How can I continue to increase me? And the one thing that I ran away from was the weight still. But what I needed to do was I needed to overcome like mentally how I felt about my appearance before I actually started shifting that appearance. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's what I started doing. Just affirmations, constantly listening to um, motivation, personal development, reading books, doing the daily mirror thing. I got around people that validated me rather than tore me around. I changed my environment. All of those things matter. So yeah, and now
Absolutely.
we getting this work.
Getting to work. And
Yeah.
that's very true that either there's always a choice. Either
Mhm.
you are building yourself up or you're tearing yourself down.
Absolutely.
Either you speaking positive or speaking life into yourself,
Yeah.
or you telling yourself the negative narrative. And
Yep.
people that sometimes they do say, well, talking to yourself in the mirror, that's crazy. Well, if you don't do it, then you won't ever reach the goals that you set for yourself. That's just
Exactly.
not
I think
writing
you're
down.
crazy if you don't. You never talk to yourself. You crazy if you don't.
Right. And a lot of people don't believe, like you said, you got to believe in yourself first
For sure.
before you can branch out and do anything else.
For
And I
sure.
like what you said about you changed your circle. Tell us the story you told Nikki about the guy. He was supposed to fix something for your website or something like that, and
Oh
you were
yeah.
driving to his house.
For sure. Like for instance, yeah, that's great. My guy and I, we just did a podcast on our podcast. We call it 64-ounce cup. And what we were saying is that, there's some point you may start off as a 4-ounce cup when it comes to patience or your anger. Meaning,
Mhm.
look, you pour a little bit in there and that cup is ready to explode. So I was a 4-ounce, or I say a shot glass when it came to anger. Like literally, I can get angry very quickly. And sometimes as men, we may see that, or women, we may see that as a sign of strength. And for me, I realized that it wasn't, but it was actually a sign of weakness. Like anybody at any point could set me off. Like, so therefore I literally was relinquishing, my control to people. I was saying, here, you can control me. If you find it, you say the right thing, or you say something that may trigger me, then you now can control me. And so when I had a few years ago, this is like maybe 2000, I want to say 13 maybe. But I was paying a guy for an app.
Yep. Yep.
And I paid my man. It was either, I don't even remember how much it was at the time. It was like $500 or $1,000. This is, my man said he could do the work, and I paid him the money. And I stopped hearing from him. And at that point, boom, in my head, now this is that masculine type of, oh, you think I'm stupid? You think you can whoop me? You think you can get over on me? And this anger, right? And so, had I been in another circle, they were like, yep, you got to put hands on my man. And that was my thought process. I actually looked at my man's address, and it just so happened, I'm thinking I'm looking up at office. Just so happened to be his home address. And I remember going there, calling my wife, and like, yo, I'm sitting outside my man's house right now. I need to put hands on my man. He just took my money. He hasn't called, no email respond. I'm gonna need to I need to put some hands on my man. All right. And my wife immediately like, no. And she's, called my pastor and all of these things. And so my pastor was saying, there are ways to fight, these type of situations. And I'm like, I don't know anything about those ways. I know that my man is disrespecting me. I need to put hands on him to make me feel better and to make me feel more macho.
Right.
And like I have control again, because what I felt like was he had stripped my control. And so he then said, yo, does my man have a business? What's his business name? Looked it up on BBB. And he's like, baby bro, he always called me baby bro. He's like, yo, we can just go ahead and file a complaint. I'm like, a complaint? That's just like, putting my kids in timeout. It's like, I need, you know what I'm saying? And I use timeout, but sometimes I feel like, man, that's all we're gonna do, babe. We just gonna put them in timeout. I'm like, I need like action. And so we put in the complaint for the BBB, and they were now were the liaison.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they contacted my man, said, "This is what's happened. Is this true?" And all of this stuff. And within the next 4 or 5 days, I had my money back.
See,
I was like, "Wow." But here's the thing: that change of environment, like you're bringing up, is what helped me to realize, okay, there are other ways to fight to get the same result. Because to get the result that I desire.
mm-hmm.
That I put hands on my man, then one, I may not have gotten my money. Two, I may have gotten charges. Three, I could have went to jail, and I wouldn't have got the results that I wanted. But that's what I felt at the time. And so, like that, just to put this in there, so I understand even now during this time where we are when we see the rioting and looting, things like that, and people ask that question of like, how is that helpful? Well, when you get to a point where, I'm disgusted to a point where I've tried to use the system that is available to me,
Mm-hmm.
and now that has not worked, or matter of fact, that system has turned its back on me or against me. Well, then the only thing I know that is left for me to do is riot and loot and cause problems. Because now you're listening. Now I have your attention. So I get it. I get it when I see people doing it. It's because one, you've exhausted other options, or two, you don't know about the other options, or you're not informed about these other options that are available to you. I wasn't informed about, you can do a complaint with the BBB, and now all of a sudden people actually care about this grade of A+ and A-. I'm like, I didn't know that. So once I was informed, I found out how to fight differently, right? So that's key right there.
And I like that, changing your circle, having the right people, because like you said, if it had been a different circle, and I know back in the day, shoot, you make a phone call, not only are they not going to talk you out of it, they're going to amp you up and might ride with you.
Ain't gonna say, yo, I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for real. That's good.
So from there, as you grow and as you have been growing, tell us a little bit about how you got in with ET, how you went from following him to actually interacting with him, and then being able to provide value to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I turned the camera on. And I'm committed to doing, if anybody knows, I did live videos 4 times a week for about 2 years straight. Just every single day. If you can do, so you got to think, that's, when we talk about 52 weeks, we're talking about 52 weeks just in that year, right? What is that? 104. We talking about 104 weeks of pushing out content.
Yep.
104 weeks of just mad consistency. And when you're doing that and you're not looking at the results anymore, because I'm talking about when I first started, I'm getting 1 or 2 views because that's what I thought that mattered. But I still am now overlooking the views, and I'm like, I'm just gonna push out content. So I did that for 2 years. Well, what it ended up happening was a guy that was like a mentor to me, Terry Frazier. My man was, because I was like a little hothead in college as well. But he was one that was hit me up randomly just to make sure I went to classes, all of those things. Like he just really just had my best interest at hand.
Yeah.
And he now gets a job at Michigan State University. The first thing he says is, "Yo, I got a little mentee that does motivational speaking as well." And initially, E was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
Mm-hmm.
And then, I was pushing out content every day. So the next time he saw E, he was like, "Yo, don't forget I got that guy." And actually, here's one of his videos. And I always say to people as I tell the story, I said, what if I wasn't pushing out content? What if I have been inconsistent? Would he still have tried to ride for me?
Right.
The consistency is the reason why he was willing to vouch for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the consistency also allowed him to be able to pull up a video or something right away. Okay, cool. So now it got to a point where, he was like, all right, we'll give him my number. Well, I started texting Like, I'm like, oh my God, I got the number. What do I do? Oh, this is crazy. Like, I'm actually, texting E. Well, I text the first time, no response. And I didn't know whether there was going to be a response or not, but I tell it like that because I was texting at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. in midday.
Mm-hmm.
A random number texting you probably get, because he was giving out his number often. Then you don't know who's texting you.
Right.
So at that point, after about 3 or 4 weeks, I said, you know what? I got it. I'm going to start texting him at 3 o'clock in the morning.
When he get up.
When you wake up, you go see. And he even tells the story. He was like, it got to a point where you see 515, the area code 515451, so many times, so often that you finally say, okay, well, who is this? Who is? And that's what got, like, I hit my man for about, like, my wife and I, we were talking about it. It was like 16 weeks straight. Like, I just was consistent. Just, wow. That's what actually got me to start waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I would hit him up and then, start working or whatever. And from there, he finally responded. And, we just kept building from there. And we, I talked about what I did. And I never was on some, here's one of my videos, watch my videos, or hey, can I come and serve or anything. I wasn't on those things. Like, I'm a huge fan of E, but I was really wanting to start from a place of building. I just wanted to build, and I wanted to glean, from him. But I also knew I had a skill set that would be helpful, and I didn't know whether he was already using funnel systems or anything in his business. So I knew if I could just focus on getting that skill set. So what I started doing was focusing on, okay, where is a gap that I can now use my skill set? And so we went to a couple conferences, and I joined BU and all of those things. And so from there, I noticed that he had started a new program, which is Extreme Execution. And I'm like, oh, boom, there it is. And that's when I literally drove out to Detroit, Flint, Michigan, to link up with him for 10 minutes to have a conversation and be able to drive back. And that's where I met Nikki, and we started talking about funnel systems and what I can offer and all those things. That's how the relationship. And even before that, you have to understand, I would do stuff just on some relationship building. So I heard in the podcast, he was always talking about, man, we got our new church, it's paid off. The floors look good, the windows look good, and all of that. So instead of just congratulating, I drove down to Detroit, which is 9 hours from me. Just literally, this is what happened. Drove to Detroit for the church opening, was there. I saw him for maybe 7 minutes, had a conversation. He was like, yo, appreciate you coming out. Thank you. I said, yo, no doubt. I'm going to get out your hair. I just wanted to see the church. I just wanted to be here, share this moment with you. I'm gone. Drove right back 9 hours.
Wow.
And so there's 2 times where I drove 9 hours just on some, I just want to build, I'm going to just build relationship, and let's start building you so you can know who I am. Yeah. And then I'm going to shift to, again, I'm not asking for anything. And I even said when I texted him, I was like, look, you ain't even got to acknowledge that I'm there. I don't even care if you see me or acknowledge that you see me or whatever. This is mainly about, I'm hearing you talk about this church. Yo, I'm just trying to support. And so from there, it shifted to a conversation of, I joined Extreme Execution, all of that. And, I'm now helping other people, build out their funnel systems. And I started talking to the squad, and they were like, yo, well, let's try you out with a funnel system that we're doing, that we want to have. And that's how we built.
And for everybody that's listening, words hit a lot of key points there. One, he was already working. He was waiting for somebody to come pick him up and teach him or show him or give him the tools to do anything. Yeah. He was already going live, putting out content, being consistent. That way, when his man picked it up and took it to Ian. There was something to deliver.
Exactly.
It wasn't a, hey, I got this guy that's a motivational speaker. He wants you to school him on the game. Pick him up.
Yeah, because most people are going to come from the point of like, I'm going to take from you, and you may not consider it taking if you say like, I may get hit with the whole I just want to sit down and pick your brain. But this is how you start in the relationship. Like you're taking from me right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's time. You want to pick my brain for an hour. Now here's the difference. If you have a platform, like let's make it mutually beneficial. You got a podcast, pick my brain on the podcast. That way we both could win out here. I'm just showing you how to start connecting with people on a different level now, because guess what? I add value to the people that are watching you. You add value by putting me in front of those people and things as well. So now we're both mutually benefiting. It doesn't just benefit me, which I say this because I have a lot of free things that I do. I got a free group that that I'm always pouring into. I put out content every day. I'm putting out stuff that is already given a lot of time, and then to have like, let me pick your brain on top of that. It's like, man, I have to guard that and manage that, and that's what I did not want to come into the situation doing that. I didn't want to come in and say, let me pick your brain. Let me ask you a bunch of questions every single day. What would you do here? And all of that. I asked one question. What do I got to do to become a household name? He said, put out consistent quality content over a long period of time. I'm like, bet, I got it. That's how we're going to hit this off. And so when I came from a place of I'm just building relationship, which doesn't take from you.
Right.
And then I wasn't hitting them multiple times a day. It's just one time, cool. And there would be sometimes he would respond. I would not respond back because I don't want it to ever look like, oh man, hold on, my man is just me up too much, right? So I wanted to make sure to respect the boundary, respect that time. And then when it came time where I was in a group where I saw a gap where there was other people in extreme execution that were like, yo, how do I start creating sales? How do I get this? I'm like, boom, I'll start adding value that way. Yep. So now I'm getting value and I'm adding value to the situation as well. So it's mutually beneficial. So I would say to people, when you're hitting other people up that you want on your platform, just hit them with an offer. Even if you want to do it for free, hit them with an offer that is mutually beneficial for both people. Because when it's one-sided, it now starts to feel like a burden, and that's, you don't want to feel like that, or people don't want to feel like, every time I look around, somebody is taking from me.
Yep. Asking me for something and not bringing that mutual value. And I like the way what you said, and ET says it a lot too. Find out where you can fit and fill the gap.
That's it. Fill that gap.
Because when you start filling gaps and when you show yourself to be valuable, then people will bring you along. Yeah. And I learned that I used to think about, okay, how can I build my team? How can I build my squad?
Yeah.
Well, when I started producing, it started bringing people around that wanted to be a part of it.
Come on.
So you have to be a producer. You have to bring value, show value. Yeah. Then you can grow.
Yeah. It's gonna be very hard to grow as a consumer, because even consuming me, you only you're spending money as well. You're just consuming products and you're not building. But consuming also means that you're putting yourself in a position where anytime you're in front of people, you're just taking. I'm taking the nuggets, I'm taking the jewels, gems, and all of that stuff, and it's great. But how can you add value? You have your own skill set as well. Your skill set, and I'm not saying this to knock anybody from pursuing or reaching out to people or myself or anything. I'm just saying that you don't dismiss the fact that you're valuable and you're powerful as well. Don't dismiss that. Don't ever put yourself in a position where you feel like somebody is higher than you, and now you have to be so submissive where you forget that you got a cape on as well.
Right.
humbly submit to, I'm always humbly submit to, my man is like, there's so many things I can learn. I got to humbly submit. But I also recognize that, man, I have a skill set that I can offer you that I know will bring value to you as well. And that's how we should approach everybody else. Maybe it might even be the same skill set. You further along, so you may have, I may have more to gain from this relationship. I get it. So right now it may start off 70-30, but at least I'm offering 30. You see what I'm saying? At least, even if 80-20, at least give me 20. And I don't mind that I'm doing the 80 initially, right? But I need you to make sure you're applying what I'm teaching or what you're learning, and then bring that up to 70-30, bring it up to 60-40. So now I'm gleaning from you as well. Like, for instance, young lady Bianca is crazy dope, right? She's like, yo, I help people manage and grow their groups. I say, okay, cool. I'm growing. Look, I started a group. I'm growing a group.
Right.
How can we benefit each other? And then every time we talk and meet, I can see her growth and what she's learning, and she's able to experience mine as well. So where it may have started off, and no disrespect, but it may have started off as 90-10, it went quickly to 70-30, right? Quickly to 70-30 where she's at. And I'm like, oh shoot, I know. It went quickly to 60-40.
Yep.
Where I'm like, oh, you're teaching me stuff now. You okay. I'm listening to you talk now. That's the type of relationship you want to build. And that's how we both win in the situation.
Absolutely. And another thing too, for people who, when you want to do something, have something together. Like when I came to you about that funnel, I had the funnel built out. I needed you to put your eyes on it.
Right, for sure.
Say, hey, Words, I'm just getting started, man. Can you build this funnel for me?
Right.
For free.
Right. Exactly. That was, and that's another key, is like, I would prefer, even like I said, I will prefer mutually beneficial, but even if it's not, don't come to me. I got it. If you want from the ground up, I got programs for that. Like,
exactly.
Invest into those things. And I'm gonna be honest, this is how I even got closer to certain people that I'm around in certain circles. I had to invest. When I ain't have the money, I still had to invest into certain programs and things in order to get that exposure that I was wanting. So when you talk about, all right, I don't have a funnel, I just have an idea for it. Can I come on and pick your brain and you help me set up my whole funnel? It's like, come on, fam, that's time. You just snatched a whole thing. But when you say, yo, I'm taking what I've been learning from you, or I hear what you said, I see this is your area, I just created this. Can you just put eyes on it? Oh, that's different now. That's different. Because I told you when you join my group that, yo, I'll put some eyes on some of the things that you all are doing. That's different now. So yeah. Even when, like I tell this story a lot, when we lost our home, and not to say, add the homeless story to the situation, but we lost our home. We were sleeping in a friend's basement for about 4 months. It was my wife and my 4-month-old daughter at the time. And during that time, I had no income coming in, right? But I would find little odd jobs or little things I can do. I remember me studying. Like I said, I was doing studying and reading books, and I, like some people, I put online. How do I make money online? And I found a guy. He was like, yo, I got a course for $97. Bought the course. Came up with the money for $97. Bought the course. I was like, oh, this is good, and I wanted to know more. But there was another couple that I had been watching for 2 years. They were selling their course $1,200. Mike and Robin are their name. Mike and Robin Pashota is how you pronounce their last name, right? I hit them up, and I did not have $1,200. I hit them up in a message that was like, look, if you let me in this program, I can do a monthly payment whatever payment you can work out.
Mhm.
Because I think at the most they were doing like 2 payments, so 2 payments of 600. Like, yo, if you let me in here, I promise you, I'll come up with the money and I'll pay it every single month. You'll never worry about me not paying. He's like, you know what? We're gonna work it out. Can you do $200 a month? No, can't. You're like, what can you do a month? I said I can do $50. And they were like, so you want to do $50 for 2 years for this program? I tell you what, if you can come up with $100 a month, we can do it. And I did it. I came up with $100 a month, and it got me exposure not only to them and their mind and their brain, and I could ask whatever question I want inside the group to them, but it also got me exposure to other people and other skill sets as well. That 12, like my whole business is based off of funnel systems and teaching people that. That $1,200 has got me to a point now where I've left my job. My wife has left her job, and we're doing our business full time.
Yep.
That $1,200 that I did not have, that I negotiated, was the key thing for me in the shift. And then after that $1,200, I wanted to start learning copy and how to write the emails and how to launch. So I spent another $2,400 on another program. And now that time I was able to afford $200 a month. Did the same thing with this young lady, Kimra Luna. I was like, look, I can do $200 a month for you on this $2,400 program. But I promise you this, like, one thing, my father always say, like, you be a man of your word.
Yeah.
Your word is everything. Don't you ever let your word become watered down. And so I told, like, I promise you this $200, it will be there. It will be there every single month if you let this happen. And she was like, okay, let's do it. Got that $200 a month. Those two programs, so that's $3,600, and then another $100 I spent. So $3,700 was my initial investment into my education and the exposure that, like, I can't even put a price on that, but the exposure alone just got me to a different place.
So
go ahead.
Right there, you did at that point, there was nothing gonna stop you.
No, you can't. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I always say, listen, once I see it, you will never take it from me. I just need to see it. And most people, the entrepreneurs, what happened is they can't see it. They don't have clarity. And what I want to do is give them clarity. Ty, salute, right? I want to give them clarity because I know once I get you to see it, you will build it. You will go after it. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing for me. If I see it, it's over. I see it. So once I bought these programs and I got more clarity and my eyes started opening, I was like, oh yes, you're not taking this from me. I'm going to win. I'm going to.
And at that point, it was wake up time.
It's wake up time. You know what I'm saying? It's wake up time after that. Let's go. Let's go.
Wow. So since we're pivoting there, tell us about what you're doing now. You're online launch strategist.
Yeah.
What does that entail? What does it look like?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So in short, I help people take their ideas and launch them for profit. That's to keep it plain. So launch their online, whether it's online courses, services, ebooks, online workshops, or whatever. So I work specifically with online entrepreneurs, business owners, and influencers that are looking to now position themselves better online, or have a product that they already have and they want to launch it out. So I've been able to, like I said, launch out ETs, extreme execution. Man, that's exciting. That was a huge opportunity. Great validation and confidence booster, right? I've been able to launch out David Shan's Social Proof, the Real Social Proof Conference. My man, him 500, his recession proof class, masterclass. I launched that out. I've launched out people with books, photography, just anything you name. If it's online, if you want to sell it online, I'm gonna teach you how to launch it out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, as far as that, you have your community. The online revolution.
The online revolution. Hey, let's go.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose?
Yeah, so I actually started the group inside the pandemic, right? I wanted to, when the pandemic started, I was like, you know what? I want to do something that will be free, right? That I can add value to people, because the revolution is now you taking back control, you bringing order back to your life, right? And so whereas entrepreneurs, you were trying to start your business and maybe you were failing, or maybe you were trying to put out content, maybe you're trying to sell your product, but now that you have time and now that there are more people online than ever, you know what? Let's start an online revolution. I'm going to show you how to take the control. I'm going to show you how to position yourself. I'm going to show you every single week. I'm committed to going live. Every single Monday, I go live in the group. I have courses like 7 Steps to Profit, my 9 to 5 escape strategy. I put courses in the group. I made sure that people knew that this was genuine. This was a genuine thing. These are courses that I would normally charge people for that are now in there, and you can access them for free. Because I said, listen, during this time, I want to make sure people could get that work. I want to make sure people could get that work.
Absolutely. And I'm in that group and I'm getting that work.
Every single day.
Every day. The content that you put out is valuable. Yeah. And when you're giving this stuff away, your time, your energy, your efforts, to me, when I look at it, I said, man, people don't have any excuse now, because most people, well, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to look for. I can't afford it. There's so much valuable information, and you are one of the people that is just giving it away.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they want to get that work, they got to put the work in. And no,
you can get it. You can get it. There's video after video, and even if you're one person that like, y'all don't feel like going through a bunch of videos. Well, I literally teach a class live every single Monday. And it's not like I'm not doing fluff. Like, I'm not a fluff type of person. So I'm not just on there doing personal development. I asked the group, all right, Monday I'm going live. What do y'all want to know? So somebody said, I want to know when do I know that I'm ready to launch? Bet. That's what we're going to teach it on. So I'm going to have steps for you. Here are the steps to know that you're ready to launch. All right, Ty said no fluff at all.
No fluff at all.
Shout out to Ty. But that was the key thing for me. My word for this year, which is another thing I got from ET, my word for the year is teach. So everything I put out, even on my content on my Instagram and everything, I said, I want to make sure I'm teaching. And teaching means that there is something practical. To me, it means there's something that people are learning, and I'm also giving practical steps. I'm giving things that you applicable, right? So I'm giving those steps that you can actually do right now and get a result from. Get a result. All right. So that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. Now I always have to go back to.
You're wrong for not helping me out with the word. You saw me struggling with the word.
Got to get that work.
I say, yo, you got to figure that out on your own.
Got me up here stuttering. I always like to go back to passion.
Yeah.
And your passion, is your passion still with spoken word?
Yeah. I think more so. I have to look at what, because you still see I'll do some spoken word on my page, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if my passion was necessarily the spoken word, but more so the fact that I can use spoken word as a way of helping people and the healing process. Because I don't do, you may hear like one love poem from me, but every poem I do is going to be assertive and aggressive, and it's a message of overcoming, and it's a message of empowerment. And that's the same thing I do with entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. So I still get to get that out. So I think more so the passion is, I want, when you experience me, you to leave me differently. I don't want you to feel the same way when we encounter, right? The same way you came to me, like when you leave, when you finish hearing me speak, whether it's poetry, entrepreneurship, whether it's singing, whatever it is, I want you to leave. To when you leave, you feel like, man, I'm floating. I will knock down a wall if I want to. I will stomp through concrete, right? So poetry allowed me to do that. But so does motivational speaking. Well, so does teaching entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I'm able to get that out, then I'm still within my passion. And that's what's more important. It doesn't matter what vehicle I choose. Those to me, I'm like the key, right? And this key unlocks whatever car, but you're gonna get the same energy, right? Those to me are just different vehicles. The gift is the speaking and the knowledge and the encouragement, the empowerment, all of those things. But I can put the gift in whatever car I want to. I can put the gift in the 97 Toyota if I want to. It don't matter. Like, you still gonna get this work. That's
the red glasses.
Yeah.
How long have you been wearing red glasses? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so you can actually see that shift from when I first started. Like, when I first started, I did some black glasses, I did some blue, and it started because initially I was mad because I had to wear glasses. My wife made me go get the test done and all of this, and because I was having headaches. And we were trying other glasses, and my pops actually said, yo, you look like a little nerd or something like that, or something that that was just like, he was pretty much saying, those not you. He was like, yo, because I was basing it off of, well, I've seen other people wear these type of glasses. Yeah. I'm gonna wear them. And he was just like, yo, those not you. And so I said, you know what? If I'm gonna wear glasses, I'm gonna have to be me. And I'm a loud person. I'm boisterous. I'm vocal. I want to be seen, right? So I picked red. And not only that, but I thought, when I'm on camera, red will pop. So it'll be something that will stop the scrolling, right? You see this black guy and all that. You start seeing the red glasses. And then I even thought about the idea of somebody even referring, to do with the red glasses. Right. So now I can start including that with hashtags and backlinks and all of those things. And so now you can easily find a dude with the red glasses. Right. So I just found something that worked with me with marketing. It just so happened that I have to wear them as well. And so there have been even comments made by them. Like, people were like, man, you look like your auntie, like, like somebody's auntie, or, you got your daughter's glasses on. But I noticed that I've never changed anything that I myself accepted. The only time I've ever changed when something that somebody comment on is when I was already uncomfortable, and I knew privately that I was like, this was not me, but I was trying to force it, right? So never like like, I knew that was me. So I was like, when people said, oh, that's corny, I was like, okay, it was cool. I guess I'm corny then.
Yeah.
To you, I guess I'm corny. Though you got your auntie's glasses on. Oh, well, to you, they look like that. That's fine. But once I became anything that I became comfortable with, it didn't matter what people said about it. So I'm comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with how I teach. I'm comfortable with my courses. I'm comfortable with my family. I'm comfortable with myself as a husband. All of those things. So now I don't have to, like, when people try to discredit or make a mockery or any of those things.
Yep.
I'm good.
Cool. So we almost at an hour. Always be respectful of everybody's time. It was quick. Always a great conversation. Go fast, because I can sit on here half the night. Chop it up. What's next for Words Taylor? Your vision. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So my goal now, what I'm doing is I'm building up Dream Builder Nation, which is my program for entrepreneurs, and I also have my Launch for Profit School. My goal is to help in the next 2 years, I want to help 2,500 entrepreneurs be able to create profit in their business and start to, have a self-sustaining business where, they don't have to, if they don't want to, they don't have to rely on, a 9-to-5 job, and they can start being able to create their income. That's what I want to focus on. And that's why I talk to entrepreneurs. My father was an entrepreneur. I've never seen my father work a job. I've never seen him clock in. Well, that first year when I started living with him, he worked at a hotel. After that, I never saw him. Everything, he owned the cleaners. He did real estate. He was in sales. All of those things, I always saw him produce his own income. So that's what I learned. And when I was in corporate, I was very unhappy because I wasn't taught how to make money that way.
Mhm.
But yet, I bought into the system of go to college. So I graduated from Iowa State University. And I think my father did as well, because that's what he was told. Like, you got to get your son to college and all of those things. But the college creates a path to, corporate
Yep.
America. And I think it's great for people that want to be in corporate America, but that's not how he was taught. That's not how he made his money. That's not how he taught me. So we were going against what was innately in us.
Right.
And so when I finally was able to kind of break free of that, that's when I knew I said, there are other people that are stuck like I was. And now I'm making it my personal mission to be able to touch and help those people, which is why I build things like Dream Builder Nation, which is why I have my Launch for Profit School, is because I want people to be self-sustaining. Those that want to. I mean, I get there are people that love corporate jobs. Perfect. Cool. No knock to you. I'm saying the people that are at the corporate and that there's something else in you that you want to get out, perfect. Then I'm going to give you that work. And there are people that have already taken that leap and are inside the journey that want to take it further and now get to a point where you're making consistent revenue. Perfect. I'm going to give you that work.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that's my goal over the next two years. I need to have 2,500 dream builders running through the programs and actually understand how to become self-sustaining. I just had my graduates from my Launch for Profit School. They're all launching right now. They're launching their books. They're launching their marriage program. They're launching their photography program. Like, they're launching out, and I'm sharing it all on my page. Like, people are launching and creating income. So I don't do programs where you just gonna learn and it's like, oh, okay, let me learn, and now I just got to figure out what to do. Mm-hmm. No, you join, you're gonna get step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Do it as you go, and then now when it's time to launch, watch and see, don't you create some income. So mm-hmm. I have a young lady, I talk about her all the time, Kim, who self-published a book. She had an idea last year, and now she was able to see the book come to life. Never did anything when it came to branding. Never put out any videos, hadn't gone live or any of those things. She came to my program. We put the system together for her. And I said, you're going to start going live. You're going to put out pre-recorded videos. You're going to do pictures. You're going to start branding yourself. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch that thing out. Well, she just launched it on Friday. And from the ground, from not having any type of brand or audience, build it up. She just sold 50 books. She's at 50 books in a matter of 48 hours, which some may say, that's it. Others gonna say, dang, I've been doing this for how long and I haven't even sold 50 books. So whereas you did my system and I showed her how to do the system, where out the gate you could sell 50 books in 2 days. Well, where are you going to be in a week?
Yep.
Well, where are you going to be in 2 weeks? And now we put a system together for you that you can duplicate over and over and over and over again. So the money that you paid me, that's what I call Launch for Profit. The money you paid me, you're going to get that back and you're going to profit. You now have a system that you can do over and over again, right? That's key for me. That's key. So that's what I want to do. Also, I have a content creation challenge that's coming up. I'm excited about that, where I'm gonna help people be able to start getting content, and I'm gonna show you how to turn your content into customers.
Nice.
Yeah.
that's another thing that community and people, family, you got to remember that launch for profit is an investment.
Oh, for sure.
Got to get it out of your mindset that you're paying for something. You're investing in you, and then the value you receive, you're going to pay that investment back and build on even more. So you
Yeah.
have to continuously invest in yourself, and that's included in personal development,
Yeah.
self affirmations, going in the mirror, all of that, writing your goals down. And I think what I'm taking away from this is don't let nobody stop you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because when you said when you get that picture in your mind, nobody can stop you. And I remember I watched the video when you were talking about you were sending emails and they wouldn't answer the email, then you
Yeah.
start calling.
Yeah. I think that's so that was when I did that when I first started trying to I did that in a couple instances, right? But when I first started trying to do traditional publishing where somebody offers a publishing deal and all of those things, I'm sending out emails and people are like, "Oh, we don't publish poetry." And I'm sending out hundreds of emails and I'm like, man, I cannot get this look. But what I learned is that, and this is why I do things the way I do it now, I was putting somebody else in position to validate me and validate my talent and say, hey, your poetry or your book is worthy enough for me to publish. It's like, wait, what? I'm not doing that anymore. And so at that point, I shifted and I said to my wife, you know what? I'm gonna publish my own book. I'm gonna build my audience. I'm gonna publish my own book, and I'm gonna start creating income on my own. And it's gonna come and it's gonna be my way, an authentic way for me to grow. And that's what I showed, the young lady that just graduated my program. It's for me, it's about being self-sustaining, right? So I'm no longer wanting to put myself in positions where I give other people the power to validate and tell me whether I'm good enough or not, whether I'm worthy of your time or whether I'm worthy of your investment or not. I don't want to put myself in those positions anymore. Right. So now, because I have access to the same thing you have access to.
Right.
You're using the internet.
Yep.
I got access to that same internet. You using videos, you using ads. I got access to that same thing. The same process and system that you have access to, I have access to. Now, mind you, you may have more dollars around yours, but me, I know how to delay gratification. I'm good with I'm a chess player, so I'm good with taking 2 years. Yeah, you may do it in 3. I'm good with my 2 years though. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. If it means that I validated myself and I learned the process. So I mean, if you take anything away, take the fact that there's a process for everything. Learn your process, learn your system, learn your structure. And when you understand those things, then you can plug people into that. And now you can start changing lives and helping people out, and you know where to land them. And then you can start building real relationships with people. That's why we're on this podcast right now. Like, because we're building an authentic relationship. Like we're able to build that thing up. That's why I have this sweatshirt on now that's not mine, right? She has a group, but I know because we're building authentic relationship, I want to support her as well. She put the sweatshirt out there. I bought one.
Yep.
My dream builder, when they graduate, I'm like, yo, I want to be your first purchase. Wow. So I'm teaching you, right? You may have invested into the program, but I'm gonna spend time teaching you how to launch your product and all that. And then typically I'm gonna be your first purchase. Like I want to make sure that everything is working properly, but I want you to feel what it's like to get a sale.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's important. So it's all about the system, man. It's all about the system. And once I got a system, I'm telling you, all of this stuff is great. I need the mindset. I need the consistency, the passion, the hard work. All of those are great. But until you get a system, boom, step 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10, and you know what your process is, you're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep going around in circles. And you're going to feel like, man, but I'm sweating. My heart rate is up. I'm working, but what the Why am I not moving?
Yep.
Right? Why am I on this treadmill and I got all the things showing that I'm getting this work out here, I'm grinding, but I'm not really seeing any results from it. Right? That's because you don't have a system in place. And so what I focus on is teaching systematic behavior, like putting those processes together. And when you can plug it, like when you hear all of my social media or my content, everything have a system. Even how I talk has a system. Like I'm gonna introduce a topic, I'm gonna tell about this, do this, and then I'm gonna go through a call to action. Call to action is gonna take you to this page. This page is gonna take you here. It's gonna send out this email. These emails are gonna come right after. There's a system to everything I do, and systems help me keep my consistency.
Right.
How we get it?
Because if you don't have that system, if you don't have those auto emails, those replies, then it's based on you.
It's based on you, and my efforts may fail me. Listen, I'm a sensitive person at times. My efforts could cause me to like, oh man, this one only had 10 views. Oh, I'm done. I'm gonna stop. But if I got a system in place that's gonna keep going, no matter what, I'm gonna get some better results.
Right.
The system says no, we just got to keep going, and if we keep going, we'll get these results out of it. You just push in the content like you're supposed to, and then let the system do its work. Let the system do its job. What happens is when you don't have a system, that everything is based off of your own emotion and effort. Just like my guy Tony Douglas, he's my coach, right? When it comes to weight loss, and so he's like, the reason why you haven't lost the weight you want is because you can do stuff for 90. We've seen you do stuff for 90 days. We've seen you make those little simple shifts.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, but however, you don't have a system. So your weight loss journey is based off of whether you feel like it or not.
Right.
And if you don't have a system of, like, he's like, for instance, with business, if you were sick, if you had a little cold, would you not do business that day? I'm like, no, bro, you know. Look, in January I had the flu, and I was still. My wife had to be like, "Yo, sit down, stop." I'm still trying to work. Now, if I had the flu and I got to go work out, now I'm like, well, that system, that's not a system. So it's contingent upon my feeling. Anytime you have a business based off of feeling, that business is going to grow sometimes, it's going to fail sometimes, it's going to be off to the side. It's never going to pick up momentum. And that's what he was saying about my weight loss. It's like, yo, your weight loss can't have momentum because it's based off of how you feel today. When the people that are bodybuilders, they actually, like, their workout is like breath for them. That's the way they breathe.
Yep.
They're like, yo, I ain't get my workout in. My guy Richard, my man will go, if he don't get his run in, my man will go out and run at midnight. He'll be like, I run in. No, I don't even. They can't even go to bed. Me, I'm sleeping comfortably. Yeah, I get tomorrow then, right? So that's what I've learned about that. That's the takeaway I want people to have for sure.
Cool. Well, Words, how can people find you? How can they reach you? How can they follow you?
Yeah, for sure. Yo, so you can go on anything and just put in @WordsTaylor, just Words Taylor. So if you go on Instagram, it's Words Taylor, Facebook, Words Taylor, YouTube as well, and you'll find me there. Also, you can join my group, the same group that Tyrus is in. So go to wordstaylor.com/online revolution. Or if you're on Facebook, you can just search the Online Revolution, and you can join the group. Come get this work. We go live every single Monday. Get this work.
I highly recommend it because, man, it just puts me in a place when there are times, like you said, when it's based on feeling, I don't feel like doing it.
I don't feel like doing it.
I don't want to do it, but then I got you wrote down in my book, Words.
I made the book.
You in the book.
Let's go.
I gotta get Words. I gotta do it. I gotta hear you. And then you just put it from the intro all the way through. It builds me up, and I feel that energy. It helps me just move through that next piece.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Appreciate that, man. Salute. Big salute for that.
I appreciate it. All right, family, we are over our hour mark. Again, I appreciate you for joining, for listening in to us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on any other platforms. Again, the empowerment platform's sole purpose is to empower you to reach your goals, whatever they may be. And hopefully tonight you have heard and seen and witnessed the many lessons of overcoming challenges so
Yeah,
you can do it. And we just want to thank you. I want to thank you, Words, for joining me, for coming on, spending your time with me
yeah.
is much appreciated.
Yo, can I thank you for having me on and sharing your platform, and just asking and just being a vessel, man, being willing to share the platform that you've built. Sometimes I know people can be a little stingy with their platforms, but you're more than willing to have people on and to have a good conversation, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Well, family, we out of here. We'll see you next week.
Wake up time. Let's get it. Ugh.